Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me today are Louis D'Souza and Anne-Marie Young. This is your Daily Dose of Happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today.
And a happy Monday as well, on top of everything else. We hope your lives are swimming in the high vibe where they should be. And if they're not, we're going to help you bring it up a little bit, because that's what we do here on your Daily Dose of Happy. I got to tell you guys a little story, something that happened just within the last hour. I used to be very much involved in writing about politics and political situations. I even have a website that I'm going to be shutting down pretty soon that I spent a lot of time on building up and built up a community with it and so forth. And in the last, as you might not be surprised about this, but in the last 2 or 3 years, I just kind of stopped doing it and just kind of went its own way, and I'm getting ready to shut it down. Well, I got an email from a guy who had been reading some of my back articles, and he was complimenting me on how good of a writer I was and how clear I was and so forth, and basically trying to urge me to reconsider, go back into the realm of writing about all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I want to do that? But, I appreciated what he was saying. I appreciated his willingness to take the time and reach out and so forth. So I responded to him, and we did a little back and forth. And he, of course, is trying to win me over to writing about his political viewpoint and so forth. And I'm just kind of deflecting that. And finally, he gave me an opening. And in that opening, I decided to just kind of go for it. So I put out this little email that basically spelled out all the different ways that we enslave ourselves when we start thinking in terms of, fighting people politically or fighting for causes and all that kind of thing. And the reason I got the opening was because he actually made a reference to being enslaved by one particular viewpoint. I said, well, hey, not just that one. It's all of them, guy. So I started spelling it out for him. And when I was done, I thought, this is pretty cool. And then I finished and I said out to him, I said, he might get it. He might not. And it doesn't really matter. And that was a really freeing experience. Just didn't matter. Now, 5 years ago, forget that one. That was not going to happen. But today, hey, I did what I could. It's up to him at this point. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. How are you guys doing?
I love that, Walt. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you.
And Louis, of course, is ensconced in his beautiful virtual living room. I love that with the piano in the background.
That's stunning.
You got to visualize it before you get it. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. You got to know what you want. Otherwise, forget it. You're not going to get it. Oh, that's really cool. Well, plus also, I made a connection earlier today between Louis and Neo Positivity, who does the Friday show and who also does these bi-monthly summits, because Louis kind of expressed interest in doing stuff like that, and I figured, well, Neo's summit would be perfect for that. So
absolutely,
the two of them are now hooked in. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of that one. That's going to be good. Sorry, Louis, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
I've just had an adventure of getting a lot of things that I've been waiting for. Like I got my electric scooter and
you got it.
zooting around in that, and on the weekend, I bought a PC and it arrived today, in the morning. It's like,
beautiful.
Wow, the speed with which you can get things these days.
Right.
But what they'd done is they'd pre-built it in Amazon, and, Amazon just delivered it. So, just took one day and bang, I had it. It's like really cool. So we're on the new machine at the moment.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. It's not like it was 20 years ago, right?
No, I mean, the last one was only probably 3 years old, but I decided to give my daughter my old machine, so I splurged out and got myself a new one. And but it's got all those fancy lights and the fans and the RGB, and I don't want any of that. And I'm not trying to find the off button somewhere. My daughter said, "No, leave it on."
That's funny.
Loads of things have been appearing. I wanted a new mattress, and now I've got a new one, and it's really nice support, and sleeping better, and all different things. Just things are just falling into place one after the other, and I'm just having a lot of fun playing with it all.
That sounds delightful. Sounds absolutely delightful.
Doesn't
That's
it?
the way life is supposed to be. How about that? An abundant life. Well, apparently you did. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Got it in one. Yeah, no, I've just got a little too many things at once, so I'm not able to spend a lot of time just on one, focusing on it and appreciating it. It's like Abram says, you don't want everything you want all at once. You just don't,
True.
And these have all kind of piled up in the last week, and it's like, whoa, I want time to enjoy the mattress and to enjoy the bike and enjoy the new PC, but one is always taking over the time of the other one. It'll all balance out in the end, but
well, the good news is there's no time limit. That's the really good news. You can appreciate them in whatever order and whatever time works. So that's fabulous.
Yeah. Hi, Marissa.
Hello, Marissa. Thanks for dropping in.
But I wanted to ask Anne-Marie something. Have you been playing with the water?
Do you know what I bought a new water filter, and it's got learn appreciation written onto it.
Cool.
Nice.
And I've just literally washed it today and filled it up, and I'll leave it overnight, as you said. So yeah, it actually tastes so much refreshing, so much better. So yeah, I definitely feel a difference. Yeah.
It's striking the first time that happens. You take the taste of the new water with the label on it that has love or whatever it is that you decide to put on it, and it actually tastes better.
It does.
Demonstrably.
I'm not a big water fan, normally, but yeah, it makes such a difference. So yeah, I've actually got squash now, but usually I've got water. I'm leaving it overnight.
But yeah, even squash, when you use certain things that I've got here, can taste a lot sweeter. There's a purple plate that I put these things on. You can take wine and put it on, and it destroys wine and makes it vinegar. Turns it into vinegar. But if you take something like orange juice, it tastes sweeter, or if you take water, it tastes better, etc. But I don't even know if they sell them anymore. I bought them a long time ago. But it's like a one-off purchase as well. These weird purple plates. I don't even know what they're called. So long ago. But I've used them consistently over the years. You just put your glass on it, and I've got my water filter under the big one under the water filter. So as I say, I've done lots and lots of little things to enhance my water, all the way to the copper cup. So
what's the reference of the purple plate, Louis? I've not heard that one before.
This is more woo-woo than anything else. So,
well, we're all about the woo. That's okay.
Yeah, this is the most woo-woo thing I do with my water.
You heard it here first.
I'll show you what it looks like. Here it is, purple plate.
Okay.
That's the one for the cup. And it's got a symbol on it. I don't know if you can see that symbol.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Not quite. I can
Not
see something
quite,
there.
yeah. It's not particularly clear, and it's got a EIP written on it. Yep. But never mind. It's supposed to be designed so it attracts the cosmic, or the non-physical energy, or the ki or the chi, and concentrates it into your cup. So, but I have noticed you put wine on it, it does turn it to vinegar. There's no doubt about that. But again, I bought this about 30 years ago.
It's actually available online. I'm looking right now.
All right. Okay.
You can get it on Amazon. It's called the Nikola Tesla Purple Positive Energy Plate.
Right. Still selling it. Wow.
It. Yeah.
Are they expensive? I can't remember. How much are they?
Amazon is $35 US. eBay is $50 US.
But is that for a big one or just a small cup one?
2.25 by 3.5 is the Amazon one. And the eBay one, if it will come up, doesn't say. Oh, no, here we go. 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So 12 inches by 12 inches. So it's pretty big.
Yeah, that's the one I've got underneath my water filter. 30 by 30, yeah. It's like a ruler by ruler, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you should get free ones now that you've just advertised it all over the internet.
I'm just trying to figure out what Nikola Tesla has to do with it. I mean, there's some connection there. I just don't know what it is.
Maybe it's to do with tachyons. I don't know, but I don't think Tesla was into tachyons, or was he? I can't remember.
I don't know. Positive energy is the closest I can see from the description.
I'm sure they're just leaning on the name for no real reason.
Probably. Invented by Ralph Bergstresser, excuse me. Manufactured in Arizona. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I remember it was an American thing. But yeah, obviously people are still buying them.
Apparently, yeah.
But, yeah, I'm sure there's some...
Under the questions and answers, you know how they have Q&A on the Amazon pages?
Yeah.
Are these Tesla plates supported under Linux?
No, only C++.
Only C++, right? Oh, people say we're crazy. I mean, come on. Wow.
Yeah, but the combination of things, you know, when I drink the water out of this, I promise you, if you came here and drank it, it just tastes so sweet and soft. Can't really, not sweet as in sour sweet, but you know, you get that little bit of brackishness from the tap water. There's none of that. There's no hint of that at all.
Okay. We've got a couple of those. Next Monday, I'll be drinking out of it. We can just do a copper cheers.
Yeah, ooh, okay. Absolutely. The copper cups are a little more expensive. I think they're about £35 for two. And it's about 50 quid for a jug, which is the next thing I want to buy. And then that's it. I don't want to do anything else with my water. My water's fine now.
Absolutely. You do more with your water than anyone else I know.
But the nice thing is the rest of the family can benefit from all my work, you know, without knowing or doing anything. You know, they just pour it out of the Wizzy filter thing.
The Wizzy filter.
The Mayu Vortex, thing. I don't know if you've ever had a look at that. MAYU Vortex water. I can't remember what they use, what they say, water enhancer or something.
I don't know.
But that's really fun. You put it on your lounge table and it's a battery operated thing and it swizzes around in this beautiful, shaped water container and, it creates a vortex all the way down and then it aerates the water. So it gets the water moving and I've got the sunlight in the lounge coming in on it. So, you've got the aeration, you've got the removal of the, any chlorine with that machine. And there's a list of 10 other things it does.
I bet it's quite relaxing to watch, isn't it?
It is. From, you know, you've got a little cable that plugs into your USB port, which I've got on all my plugs in my house. I just plug it on and then it's magnetic. So if you hit it, it just falls off. So it doesn't drag the thing off. And then it's got a 4-hour charge, so you can take it, put it in the middle of the table while you're eating, and it's very quiet. And then you've got this beautiful vortex in front of you, and then everybody's drinking from it. So I don't know, from an aesthetic point of view, I like it, but I think it's probably one of the items that has the biggest impact on the water, strangely enough. Yeah, and actually, it's 170 pounds. It's 170 pounds if you buy it new from the company, but I found it on eBay for 50.
Oh, bargain.
Yeah.
There's actually a website, purpleplates.com, and it tells you everything you'd want to know about it.
About it, yeah.
And
you're in a mission world.
Yeah. Well, when you run into something unusual, you have to look it up, right? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the law, I think.
Exactly.
But, yeah. And you know, they have a whole thing about purple plates here. And so far,
Marissa,
they haven't said a single thing about why Tesla has anything to do with it yet. Eventually. Oh, here we go. Let's see. All right. You have to kind of skim through some stuff here. Goodwin is Linda. Goodman. Linda Goodman. She writes about.
Oh, Linda. She wrote sun signs.
Yeah. She mentions that strangely, the person who created the plates with Nikola Tesla preferred to remain anonymous. However, after the inventor's death, the company which produced the plates decided to give him due credit. The inventor, Ralph Bergstresser, was born in 1912 in Pueblo, Colorado, of German parents who immigrated to the U.S. He was extremely interested in free energy, or zero-point energy, as it is now called in scientific circles. Bergstresser carefully studied anything written about Tesla's experiments and attended many lectures given by Tesla. At one point, they were introduced and quickly became friends due to like interest in free energy. Over the course of the next 20 years until Tesla's death, they had numerous conversations on the process of tapping free energy, and after Tesla's death, Bergstresser was able to discover the secret of altering the aluminum in the positive energy plates from clues and notations in Tesla's notebooks. So I'm not a whole lot more educated than I was before, but there you have it. That's the connection to Nikola Tesla.
Hey, he was his pal. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's good enough, right? The rest is like, okay. Whatever you say, sure, fine. Yeah. So, hey, if it works, it works. That's all that really matters.
No, absolutely. I mean, Marissa says there, do you think it makes the water healthier? So what is healthier water?
Well, she follows up by saying more pure.
No, I mean, I understand that. So, it gets rid of impurities. It cleans up the water. It aerates it. It makes it taste better. And the other thing that I said to you the other day is, I'm now drinking a lot less water. So therefore you're straining your kidneys less, et cetera, et cetera. So the water you are using is going in, being used. So I also use the salt-water relationship if I feel I need to. So if you put a little salt on the tip of your tongue, it sends a signal to your brain to absorb the water. And it's very important to understand that because a lot of people are drinking water, but it's just coming out as urine. But if you drink water, if you put a little bit of salt on the tip of the tongue, so good salts, in other words, rock salt or Himalayan salt or something, take the good salt, put on the tip of your tongue, that sends a message to your brain, says absorb it. And so instead of the water just being passed through the body, you're now getting the body really absorbing that water and using it very effectively. So, of course, water's got memory. So you're taking into consideration that I'm putting happy or good vibe memory water into my body as opposed to slam, bang, dark, falling out the tap, water that has got a memory of not so interesting or great or brilliant, experiences in the last, say, half an hour that it's come out of the tap. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's doing. So they tell us. So, when Dr. Moto took all those photographs of, straight tap water and tap water that's been in a jug that's had love and appreciation on it for a while, etc. And the different crystals look so different, and some of them are so beautiful. Those pictures, you can just look through that book just to look at the pictures,
True. Yeah.
Some of those crystals are just amazing.
They're beautiful. No doubt about it. And
he freezes the water. He freezes the water molecule down to -4 degrees, and then at -4, he's able to take the photo.
That's -4 degrees centigrade?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think the Chinese use metric. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Or was he Japanese? I think he was Japanese.
He's Japanese, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emoto is definitely Japanese. The other thing that's really cool is he uses a wide range of words. I mean,
he does.
In terms of vibration, but it's like a huge.
He uses Bach music and all different types of things. Yeah,
all kinds
really
of stuff.
Fascinating. Yeah. You've heard of this before, haven't you, Anne-Marie?
I've heard of it. I've actually seen it, so I've just made a note of it so I can go in and have a look.
Cool.
Oh yeah, lots of good stuff on Google, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. You can just find tons of it. Really cool photography. Yeah, definitely worth it.
I'm just excited with all these new toys and things I've got because my wife said to me the other day, "Oh, I'm here. I'm just about to have some coffee. Do you want to join me?" So I said, "Sure." And a couple of seconds later, there I was on the little scooter outside. I was like, "Wow, you went here quick." I said, "Yeah, look what I used."
Did you get arrested?
No, I didn't. I took all the byways and how, to get past highways.
Better.
But, I decided, let me pop off to the shop, which I'd never do because it's just a little too far to walk. Let me pop off to the shop to go get some batteries, and boom, I was out of the house and back again within seconds. Like, wow, it's so cool. And opening the garage, getting out the huge Jaguar.
Now, bear in mind, this is the same man who a year ago was waxing poetic about the Jag, and now
exactly. Yeah, that's history. Now I'll have the wind in my face, and you feel alive, and you can fall and hurt yourself. It's so cool. No airbags and huge bonnet of metal to protect you. Yeah, no, I really appreciate the vehicle, except it's big. You know, this is a beast. You want to put it in the back of the Jag, it takes up the whole Jaguar.
Wow. Why such a big, because of battery space or what?
Well, I live up a very steep hill, and to have an electric scooter that won't take me my weight up that hill was not going to be an option. So I went for something that was slightly bigger to make sure I can do it. And anything smaller than this probably wouldn't get me up the hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to put both motors on to get up this hill because it really is steep. It's probably about a 40-degree incline.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty steep.
Wow.
Only for a shortish section, but it's, you know, it's
it doesn't have to be very long.
No, it doesn't. I was just thinking, you know, if I'm going to get one of these things and I can't get home, I'm just going to be annoyed having to push it up the hill every time. So,
especially a hill like that one.
Yeah.
But how much fun is it going down the hill?
Absolutely. I mean, those disc brakes, you can, you know, it's not like a bike or anything where you get scared when you're going down a hill. You've got as much control as pretty much a car. These disc brakes are absolutely spot on. They're really strong and work very well. So happy about them. There's one thing I was a little bit worried about because you got the 40-degree downhill when you're going down.
Absolutely.
So you want to make sure that this thing can handle it, but it handles it with absolute ease. You know, you don't notice it at all. If you want to brake full on, you can do it, but you don't need to. And you've got dual motors, so you've got one motor at the back, one in the front. So if you want the battery to last longer, you just put on one. But if you're going up a steep hill, you just touch the button and you got both on and you can go up the hill.
So now do you have an easy way to carry things like groceries or whatever?
Yeah, I just use a backpack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can't really do a full shot, but you could do, you know, a small number of items.
Well, I can carry 13 kgs on my back when I'm on my hiking days. So, you know, you can.
Well, I mean, just in terms of the volume of it.
Yeah, it probably depends on the backpack, but I've also got a little, Velcro type backpack that goes over the handles. So you can store things on there as well.
Okay. Well, you probably also do saddlebags, I would imagine.
That's kind of what this thing is.
Yeah.
It's a Velcro saddlebag.
Okay.
It's just not a horse.
Yeah, right.
With my gold bars.
Well, that's right. There's no pummel, so you're safe, I think.
Yeah. I did enjoy Louis L'Amour's books when I was young.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So has your wife figured out now that you're the go-to guy for anything that, you know, that needs to be sent on an errand for?
That anything? Sorry?
Anything that she needs to send you on an errand? She just just go do that.
No, she hasn't worked that out yet.
I give her 2 weeks.
It'll come. I'm trying to get her to use it, but I think until it's legal, she won't touch it.
But surely you're just going, yeah, I'll go out, I'll do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But she walks past the supermarket to and from work every day, so she can pretty much pick up anything she wants. So.
Yeah, that'll change.
So it sounds like this weekend has been a bit like Christmas for you.
It has, yeah. And the other thing I got this last week is 4 new tires for the Jag.
Ooh. So I guess you still love the Jag.
I got the Michelin cross climate. So they're very good at wet and snow and dry and all the rest of it. And they really got a good rep, them. But I mean, they're not cheap, but we're going on holiday and all the rest of it. So I thought the last ones are just wearing down. The nice thing about it is just, you know, not too LOA, but I think in a way this is LOA, because I really wanted to look after the tires the best way I could, and I found out that you fill it at this one place with hydrogen. And what hydrogen doesn't expand under heat. So it maintains your tires for an extra 25% longer.
Wow.
And it improves your fuel by 5%.
Interesting.
So, you know, you go to this place, they fill them up, and they'll top them up for free. It only costs $10 to do all 4 tires, so it doesn't matter what car you've got. You can just have them filled up with these guys.
Wow.
That is very cool. I like
So, little things like this, I like telling people because, to just save 5% on fuel for the rest of your life is brilliant. That alone.
To me, it's saving 25% on the life of the tires.
Tires, absolutely.
Especially Michelin's are not cheap.
No, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a significant savings right there. That's really cool. You mentioned that it isn't really LOA, but really it's all LOA. That's one of the things we were talking about before the show. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've actually toyed with the idea of changing the name from LOA today simply because people get so hung up on, well, we got to talk about law of attraction. Except that when we're talking about life, that's built in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we have, it's kind of like, what if I was talking about, what if I called the show The Law of Gravity today?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, really. I mean, they're different laws, but it's the same principle. Would you really want to?
You can talk about the law of love, and that's the law of attraction. You can talk about
yeah,
the law of masculine and feminine. That's the law of attraction. All these other laws that people make can all be broken down to originate from the law of attraction. All of them.
And ultimately, they're all about what we're using and understanding, and not even using, just understanding so that we can live better lives. That's really what it's all about. It's about living the life. We get hung up on what the rules are. Well, why not just live the life?
It's so exciting because we're going on holiday to Wales very soon for a week, and during the school midterm, and we're right on the coast, and really love the drive. And I've got these new tires. The new tires also, the steering wheel is very much easier than the old ones. Of course, other ones were a bit warm. But the interesting thing about these tires as well is the Michelin Cross Climate is they say that down to the legal limit, there is no difference in effectiveness all the way through. Nothing.
Wow.
That's impressive.
This is one of the first tires that's ever been able to say that, which is phenomenal.
That's really something. That's really interesting.
And the guy gave it to me at a really good rate, as well, cheaper than anywhere else I could find online or anywhere. And nice. I was just lucky, he said, no, there's only 4 and that's it. If you wanted more or anything, you'd be paying, 20, 30, 20, 25 quid extra for every tire. So
wow.
I was like, wow, it's just amazing.
Nice. Really nice.
But that right there is law of attraction, isn't it?
It is.
You get what you want at a good price.
Yeah.
It's a gift, yeah.
And to get the helium as well, which only cost a tenner extra, which he threw in for free. It's like, because if you're buying these expensive tires, we'll give it to you. But yeah, so, you feel really confident with them. I've tried, the Jaguar is so powerful, probably when it hits the second gear, because it's an automatic, so you don't really notice the gears. But when it hits second gear, it was usually sliding. But with these new tires, nothing, And the old tires were pretty good when I bought them, 3 years ago. So, all the way through those tires have been spinning, but these tires, nothing, not a hint of anything. Rain, it's particularly good at getting rid of the water. They've won so many awards. It's now going on the Volvo as the default tire from initial sale.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I did a bit of research on them, and
apparently, yeah,
they're fantastic tires. But my dad always said to me, get Michelin because they last longer and you save more money, even though they're a bit more expensive. That's true. And they're really good at dry rain and snow. So you've got, they're very highly rated in the snow, even though they're not a full winter tire.
Now, for those listeners who are wondering what all this has to do with law of attraction, because like I said, we're trying to go into life, not to be tied down, but there is a direct connection. There are a few of them I can think of, but one in particular is Louis just did a massive rampage of appreciation on his tires.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really do appreciate them and I respect them. Consequently, when I'm driving with them, I am now having that field in my thought form around the tires. You understand? So, when you start working like that, you're working on every aspect. I appreciate the Jag so it works and runs well. I appreciate the tires so they work and run well. I look after the correct gas inside the tires so it works and runs well. So, you've got all these beliefs which you're building up in yourself, these good, positive beliefs. And they have a massive effect, over time.
Louise and I were noticing today, we went out to get a new dryer, because the one we currently have is starting to show its age. So, okay, time to get a new one. And we go to the shop, and on our way to the shop, we were both noticing traffic was literally jumping out of our way.
I love it when it happens. Yeah,
I mean, the entire trip, you come to one intersection where there's like two straight ahead lanes. There's a right lane and there's a right turn lane, left turn lane. And all of the cars would move out of the left-hand straight-ahead lane into the right-hand straight lane. Long, long line. We're talking 20, 30 cars. The left-hand lane would be empty. We'd drive into that. And we'd just sit there at the light, and then the light would be gone green as soon as we slow down. So we're just basically going through the light, past all those cars, and then they all start filling in behind you. And that kind of thing was happening over and over and over again. Yeah, it was really wild. Like, what the heck is going? This is really weird.
Yesterday, the opposite happened to me. I got this really slow car in front of me. And I was like, what's this about? Because it usually doesn't happen to me. And then there was this bicycle who was riding erratically in front. And it's like, oh, that's the reason to slow this fast driver down with dangerous situations. So, yeah.
That's something that Louise talked about a lot early in our relationship, long before we knew about what law of attraction was, how anytime that she finds traffic blocking her in some way or redirecting her in a way that she didn't really want to, it's always because there's some other thing, some other situation that it's helping her to avoid. Mm-hmm. And over time, I've come to appreciate she's right. That's exactly what happens over and over and over again. So, yeah, very cool.
Last week I was in traffic and just stuck at home, and I just was appreciating it because I could listen to my music and sing at the top of my voice. And that was just whatever it is, I just try and appreciate the situation I've been given.
And it works. It pays off in countless ways that you can't even anticipate at the time that you're doing it. But then it shows up later in other ways. You say, oh, my goodness, look what's happening. This is pretty crazy. But I'm loving it. I got to take a moment here. I got to do a little promo because next week on the Monday show, we have two special guests coming in who have been previous guests on other days. But the reason we're getting both of them is they do a podcast together. They're both coaches. One's named Cassie Parks. The other one's Ginny Gain. They've both been on the show within the last 2 or 3 weeks. And they're going to come on the show together and do a show with us on Monday. So cool. I hope you guys can make it. But these ladies are really great. These are really interesting ladies. And what's particularly interesting is that Cassie basically teaches and understands all of this stuff from a very practical scientific perspective. Mm-hmm. Ginny is completely spiritual, totally from the spiritual side. So you have this really interesting disparity really going on there. And that's why I wanted to have them both on at the same time, because they're both fabulous people to talk to. I figure watching the two of them go at it like that, it's going to give us all kinds of fun avenues to explore. So
that sounds good dynamics. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have a lot of fun next week. Just saying. Yeah. Also coming up, let's see, this coming Wednesday, David Strickle, the Stream of David, coming on to join us on the show. So if you have any questions or if you ever want to hear a session of the Stream of David, be sure to tune in for that. And then not this coming Friday, but the following Friday, we have a good friend of Debbie G coming on, Kirk Nermy. And from everything that she tells me, this is going to be one heck of a show. So you don't want to miss that one. So just some of the upcoming stuff coming up. And be sure you stay tuned in and just keep listening to episodes, because then you'll catch all of them, which is really cool.
It's literally like LMA today is bursting. There's just so many amazing guests recently, isn't it?
And you know what the best part is, Anne-Marie?
You're doing nothing.
I'm doing nothing.
You're doing everything right.
Actually, I did do
which
one
means
thing.
nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which means you're step 3. You're doing step 3.
I'm doing step 3 over and over again. Yes. No, I did one thing. I set up a Calendly link so that people could sign up for a date. I did that last spring. That's the one thing I did.
Have you managed to get the app back up and running?
I haven't even looked at it. I'm sorry to say, I regret, but yeah. See, the good news,
really an easy way to tell people.
Well, the really exciting thing is that the gardening season is almost over. It's exciting for me anyway.
Yeah.
Because that means my workload is going to be dropping dramatically. And once that happens, that's going to be next week. It's going to end. And so then all of a sudden I can do things like fix the app that has been kind of hanging over my head for a few months now. So yeah, just saying, but it's all good. In fact, I was looking at the schedule today, putting together the last few days worth of scheduling, and normally I can't schedule too many days ahead because especially with the weather we've had this year, it's been too crazy to try to predict, what can you do on any given day? And then you have to rewrite the schedule. But, the weather's looking pretty good, and I wrote it all out. I said, wow, that's it. That's the whole season. We're done. Oh, what a feeling. So you can even appreciate that. You can appreciate stuff that, was kind of bugging you before. It's cool when you can do stuff like that.
So what's happening at work, Anne-Marie?
So what's happening at work? I've lost my mojo at work, if I'm honest. I have to say. It's a weird one.
So that's because you're on a vortex. You're like, not a vortex. You're on a crux. You're like at a crossroads. Like, do I stay? Do I go?
That's very much how it feels. Very much. I think I'm working towards going, and my heart probably isn't in as much. But I also am very aware through my journaling this week that I need to pull my finger out on the other stuff that I do want to do. I need to stop that procrastination. And I know things have been very busy, but I've only got myself to blame if I'm not going to move forward. So yeah, I kind of gave myself a bit of a talking to today.
We've got something going on here in the U.S. I'm wondering if you guys have it going on in the U.K. as well. Here in the U.S., a U.S. professor called it the Great Resignation. And what it is, there's a large chunk of the working population that's quitting their jobs. And part of them are quitting because they feel like they're not being paid enough and they'd rather just stay home. And part of them are quitting just because during the pandemic, they got the experience of working from home and now they don't want to have to go into a job anymore. And a lot of them are in the service industry and they're getting sick of the service industry. They're making these shifts and so forth. And, the world of economics, of course, is freaking out because this is like the end of life as we know it from their perspective. But from my perspective, it's like way cool. All these people are discovering their power and they're discovering they have choices. I think so. I'm curious, is the same thing? Are you guys experiencing anything like that there? I mean, literally, we're getting like millions of people quitting their jobs every month.
I think for me personally, it kind of feels like 3 years ago, I'd have just still got on with it and just thought this was how things were. Whereas now I know I've got a choice and doing more of this and listening to you guys and just, even just joining LOA today and having more fun doing this than I am doing my day job. So
I know that feeling.
So, it kind of opens your eyes, doesn't it? And it gives you a thing. But I think,
this is supposed to be hard and difficult, Speaking
What's wrong
about
sorry. Sorry for having fun.
Yeah, it's terrible. A lot of people still don't believe that I've been speaking to on the gaming platform that they can leave their job. They just don't believe they can leave it. Yeah, you're dreaming, mate.
For next year.
But that to me is what's so cool about what I'm seeing here. And that's why I'm wondering, I think it probably is happening there too, because
I'm sure it is.
If this is happening anywhere the pandemic is happening, that's pretty much global. So I would imagine, I just haven't seen any news saying that it's been happening in the UK, but it's got to be happening. And if it is, I mean, this is like global. This is a major thing happening around the world that's freaking a lot of people out, but it's also exciting to a lot of people. And I just love that. Because what that means is people are raising their vibration and they don't even understand the importance of it, but they're getting the results.
I see a lot of my friends doing network marketing roles, so they can work from home, they can work around their families and have that freedom to do what they want when they want. And I see a lot of LOA in that because they're learning about positivity and how to express themselves and how to stay positive so they can do that through their network marketing. So it's actually really interesting to see how it just filters. I mean, to be fair, I did a little bit of network marketing when I was off with my children. And there was very much a lot of like positivity, have your vision, be positive, you know, high vibe and stuff like that. So I think it's filtering out quite quickly.
After getting very high in a network marketing company, I can tell you that, number one, network marketing is a self-development course in disguise.
This is true.
It's one of the hardest, toughest, and probably most fulfilling ones that you can do.
I'd agree.
The biggest challenge you have in a network marketing, trying to build a team, is getting people to stop thinking job and to start thinking run my own business, because it only costs about 40 quid to join, to start your own business, but people don't take it seriously. You know, if you invest £10,000, you might take it seriously, but when you invest 40 quid on it, to get people to change their mindset that they have to, you know, motivate themselves.
Yes.
That they have to improve themselves, that they have to develop themselves, is the challenge, because and it's the huge reward, because when it works, you're getting somebody who's transforming their entire life, and then they can sell that. Mm-hmm. So it's really easy, but it's very, very few people you'll find who've been terribly successful in network marketing. Yeah, reasonably, averagely, that's fine, but to get to the top, the challenge with network marketing is selling the same product year in and year out for the rest of your life, and there is no getting out of it. Okay. And network marketing companies, when you get to a certain level, will tell you that you can't join any other network marketing company as a serious business, as a using the product, no problem. Yeah, there's a conflict of interest there, because what happens is, yeah, your team will maybe go to the other side or something, and they don't want that. So there is, at a certain level in the business, any network marketing company is going to not allow you to do it. So you get stuck selling the same product year in, year out, and that is a biggie.
Yeah.
That's a biggie, because as you build a team, you can't get out of it without losing money. You lose massive amounts of money once you've built up a team and you want to change to something else.
I'm not sure how that would play out in the US, in the UK, but I can just imagine how that would play out in the US for a multi-level marketing company trying to enforce that. That would be tough to enforce under US law.
No, I don't think they would enforce it, but they would strongly encourage it. And if they see that you are pushing people to the other team and they're leaving the network marketing company that you're in, then they will be able to take certain measures to. There's certain things they can do. They can make your life very, very difficult.
I live in the U.S. I live in the U.S., which is a very litigious society, and I can just see lawsuit all over that.
Absolutely, but these companies are so wealthy, they wouldn't even blink an eyelid to throw the most expensive and wealthiest lawyer in the entire country at it.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. Yeah.
You have no idea how much money these guys make. I mean, literally, people have no idea. They make so much that they're not even allowed to tell people anymore. It is gargantuous amounts of money every month. I mean, they make like 2-3 million a month. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys, it's just unbelievable.
I believe it. Even if it is unbelievable, I still believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating, the structure, and it's a very interesting. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad fame, he says that it's the easiest way for the average person to become incredibly wealthy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
Is network marketing.
Marissa, in the live stream, she put up an interesting comment. I want to throw it up on the screen for you guys to see, and we'll read it to the listening audience. She said, I work for Regina Public School Division, and the school's getting COVID, but they go to school and then they're homeschooling back and forth. And I'm not sure precisely what her point is there, but it does raise an interesting question. If the thing is happening in the employment arena, where people are finding that it's really worthwhile for them to work at home, that they're liking it, they don't really want to go back to working in an office or in a, a service complex or something like that. Is it possible that the same thing is happening in the schooling realm? I mean, now I've heard lots of stories about parents who are upset about the homeschooling or the schooling from home virtually, because it means they can't use the public school system as a daycare system.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard a whole lot about the other side, and I'm curious to know, is it happening? Is it a case where more and more kids are finding they really don't want to have to go into school? They'd rather phone it in, so to speak.
I can tell you, my daughters wanted to go back. Definitely.
She did, okay. Because I can see the other side too. I can see the argument both ways, but I'm just curious.
And I can say, sort of from my point of view, and for my friends, is like we were all wanting the kids to go back, and the kids were desperate to go back. I mean, I was a key worker, so mine were able to go back earlier, and I homeschooled for a few weeks and tried it. But when my daughter found out she got a place back at school, she just burst into tears. She was so relieved. She needed that social interaction.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, just missed her school, her teachers, her friends desperately.
My youngest one was absolutely useless at video conferencing teaching. Mm-hmm. She would put it on mute her video, and walk away and go play on the floor. And when she heard her name, she'd like, pop up. And I can't say I was telling her that was bad or anything, because I don't have a lot of time for public education. I actually think it's actually not particularly good for children.
I agree with you. Yeah, but then again, I'm a radical, so I'm bound to say something like that. Well, it's true.
She's saying COVID is rampant in the schools. Well, over here it's not anymore. I mean, none of the classrooms I know have been shut down anymore. None of them.
Oh, see, it's different in our school. In our school, it's like, yeah, we've been got an email this today saying that over the weekend there's been so many positive cases, but there's also been PCR tests that have been incorrect. So I think in the southwest where we are, PCR tests have come back negative, but actually
they have had problems with that recently.
Yeah.
All I can say is it's truly amazing the variety of results people can produce based on what they give their attention to, because that's what we're seeing. Very true. That's exactly what we're seeing.
But you know what I was loving watching is an American senator. He's a doctor, and he was taking some legal health guy who was wandering around calling all the Americans flat earthers because they didn't want to take the jab, and he totally stripped the guy to pieces.
I think you may be talking about Dr. Rand Paul. He's a senator from Kentucky. Yeah, I know him actually.
You do, because I loved what he said in there. I was absolutely, this guy's totally right. I mean, the government line was saying that if you had COVID, you don't have any immunity. You have to have the jab to get the immunity. And he was saying that's not true. That's not a scientific fact. It's completely the opposite. If you get it, it's actually more. You got more immunity than if you had the jab. And, he was saying, why are you calling me a flat earther? Because I'm in the, it was really going on, and I loved it. I thought he was like so spot on point. This guy didn't know what to say. He was like totally taken out. But, it's interesting how I don't know, the drug companies seem to be pushing this in every shape or form so they can get more and more money. I mean, they already got billions and billions and billions. I don't know what more they want. I really don't. They should be giving it away for free.
Yeah, I don't blame it on, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't blame anything on anybody anymore. And I especially don't blame drug companies, because honestly, this is all human beings.
No, absolutely. I agree with you.
On the stuff. So, and the human beings are included in drug companies. So they're doing the focusing too.
Exactly.
There's a whole bunch of focusing going on.
I agree with you.
I find it all amusing though, because that's the kind of stuff that used to get me all heated up. Years ago, that's the kind of thing I would just go off on. Now it's like, okay, that's cute.
No, absolutely. But you can see where certain people are leveraging this for their own advantage. Hey, everybody's doing that in some shape or form.
It reminds me of a discussion I had with somebody recently about, I think it was about Facebook groups. So some venue, I can't remember what it was. Facebook groups comes to mind, but it could have been any venue where there are discussions that go on, and some people try to use them as networking opportunities to, spread their business acumen and acquire clients and all that kind of thing. And the person I was talking to was poo-pooing that, saying, no, it's a terrible thing. And in the conversation, I pointed out to the person that, what's the root of that? Well, the root of it is that, they're trying to profit off the situation. I said, well, don't you try to profit off of situations? I mean, do you have a job? Do you try to profit off your job? Is there anybody who works a job for pay who isn't trying to profit off their job? And she said, oh, I never thought of it that way. It's all perspective, really. What's your point of view? If your point of view is that you want to get paid for what you do, you're working for profit. And if you want to think that is not working for profit, guess what? You can think of that as not working for profit. It's all point of view.
It reminds me when people say, I can't sell. I said, do you have a job?
Yes.
So yes. So did you go for an interview? Yes. So you know how to sell.
To me, the better question is, do you want to sell? That's a different question.
Yes. And what do you want to sell? If you just want to see a good movie, I want to sell that. I just watched the James Bond movie. It's not that good. Don't.
This is called negative salesmanship.
Yep, that happens too. But Marissa was saying, I think that they all should homeschool because of health reasons. Now, you could argue that psychological health reasons they should go to school. So, there's pros and cons to whichever way you want to look at it. So
that's going to be true of everything in life too. I mean, for myself, what I hope is that more and more people realize they have the power to choose. I don't care what the topic is. I don't care what the issue is. They have the power to choose. It's up to them. What do they want to do?
I'm loving the wisdom, Walt. It's so cool. You're spot on. You're getting to that place where I don't care. Choose, do what you want. But don't tell me what it
and I didn't even have to move to California. I mean,
but you do get to that place as you become, as we used to use the old words, more spiritual or more aligned in the Abraham Hicks language. You do have less and less desire to have other people agree with your point of view or your opinion.
Yeah, letting go of the old belief structure that I had to talk somebody into something or change their mind or convince them of something. Letting go of that has been the most freeing thing that I've done in the last 20 years. That includes doing a show, by the way. That includes doing an LOA Today show. That all by itself is the most freeing thing I've ever done. Because boy, you let go of that and life gets so much easier.
So Marissa says that don't care attitude. Now, I don't care what other people wish to choose or believe, but I do care what I believe and what I want. So when you say I don't care, you have to preface it with what you're caring about and what you're not caring about. Because I care very intensely about my water. I care very intensely about what I'm thinking and how I'm thinking. But I don't care if you agree with me or not, or you believe me or not, or you like what I'm saying or not. That's your problem. I said that to somebody when I was playing the other day. I said, "Oh, I don't like this guy." I said, "Well, that's your problem." And they were like, "Yeah, but I just don't like him." I said, "That's your problem."
Yeah, when in doubt, just return to the old argument, right?
And I like everybody, and everybody's my friend. I've got 700 friends now, I mean, you've only got 20, but hey. I've got more choice than you, that. Even those guys that don't play very often or have been rude to me, I've still got them as friends. I'm not going to let them affect me. I'm not going to let them have power over me.
I'm reminded of the scene from the movie The Secret Dare to Dream, which is the fiction version that came out in the last year or so. And the two of the protagonists are talking, and one of them says to the other that she's complaining that there's a friend, she's having a birthday, her 16th birthday, and her friend is also having a birthday, and her friend's going to have food trucks and all this other stuff. And going to have hundreds of friends visiting and so forth. And so the guy she's talking to says, so tell me, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 200 Instagram friends or 5 real friends?
Mm-hmm.
And
I've got 5 real Instagram friends.
And that's showing the perspective is everything. But she wanted 5 real friends. And what that said to me, among other things, was it's not the quantity that counts, it's the quality. I don't care what the quantity is.
I remember what my gran used to say, Louis, if you have 5 real friends, a handful, you're very rich.
She was right.
True, though.
I love my old gran.
Absolutely. She was totally right. In fact, I start with 1 and then work my way up, which is what I did, by the way. Yeah.
Well, when I joined Tyre, it was all about, my goal was to have more wonderful experience with my family and my friends, because to me, that is my abundance.
How is it working out?
Oh, wonderfully. Wonderfully. Yeah. Lots of.
So, Anne-Marie, when you're coming to visit us, bring your family.
Are you sure? They're not like me.
Be careful what you wish for.
Don't worry, my daughter will sort them out.
I was going to say, your daughter and my daughter, it would literally be a hurricane.
Why?
Just both powerhouses, I reckon.
Oh, right, okay. That's cool.
Well,
amazing. In a good way.
But you know, our house, I've always kept my house a home, not a house.
Absolutely.
So, you know, people can come in here and rip it up and draw on the walls. You know, I'm a property developer. You know, I know how to repaint. I know how to fix things. I know, you literally, I don't mind what people do. They can come here, but they must be free to not have to take their shoes off and just walk around and just do things. And I love that. You know, it's,
besides, he can always put on a virtual background like he has, so he's good.
Exactly. Yeah, you just use your imagination and you can fix anything.
That's true. That's really true. Oh, I tell you, I prefaced the show and I started the show by talking about how it's so easy to say, oh God, I've done so many of these shows, and then I start doing the show and it just fills in like, oh, this is just wonderful. That feels so good. Mm-hmm. This is what's happening with this particular episode. Once again, I'm feeling really, really good, and I have you guys to think about. I thank you guys very much because you're helping me make that true.
I'm enjoying it as much as you are, Walt. Thank you.
Oh, well.
I'm so glad I make your day, Walt.
You do. I can't tell you how many times I've done I've done over 1,500 episodes. Of those 1,500, I'd be willing to bet 98% of them I needed a lift that day, and I got it. And the other 2%, I was.
You've had a lot of low days, Walt. You've got to do something about this.
Well, I did, one step at a time. That's the point. You take one step at a time, and it gets a little bit better, and 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 it just keeps getting better and better and better and better until finally past that tipping point. And past the tipping point, it's like, wow, everything's great.
I love it when that ball starts rolling downhill. It's so much easier.
Oh, not just easier, it's more fun. I
Mm.
mean, that's literally how I succeeded in making the tag on the show real. It really did become my daily dose of happy, and yours too, hopefully, for those who are. Well, actually, I've gotten plenty of feedback that says it is working for them. It is giving them their daily dose. So, yeah, that's pretty exciting as far as I'm concerned. So thank you guys. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just so excited about the fact that we're going to Austria for Christmas again, because we missed last one. So we're going back to the skiing village, and the whole family will be there. And, my wife's sister and brother, they both got 2 kids, so there's 6 kids, and huge Christmas tree, and there's snow everywhere, and skiing, and hot baths and all those things. I love it. It's Austria's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds like the D'Souza family's a lot of fun too.
Yeah. You know, I've done a few podcasts from Austria.
Just occasionally, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've all been worthwhile. All right, good. Thank you guys very much. Thank you to our podcast listeners everywhere, and we will see you all next time here.
Take care, everybody.
All the way today. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.